A peer-mediated approach, it's basically taking an adult such as a counselor and having them train and prompt the individuals who are typically developing to include their peers who may have some sort of disability or a social challenge, instead of going directly to the individual with the disability or the social challenge. So really it's just involving the campers and having them interact versus having it dependent on the adult. Tracks works because you teach the typically developing peers how to interact, because if you don't teach those typically developing peers, then you're not going to have any interaction. Using the TRACKS acronym, that's what you're going to use in order to teach those typically developing peers to bring the individual with a social challenge or disability over to the group to interact. Say you're in a camp setting and you are playing a game, and there's one individual that might be kind of sitting by themselves and the rest of the kids are playing the game. You as a counselor would want to go to the typically developing peers and you would want to teach them the words that they may need, or how to interact with that individual that might be sitting by themselves, to go over and to get them to come over to engage with the group.
I think it's a really good program. I like the way that the staff hand off some of the support for the children with special needs to some of the other campers, because I know that they're being taught ways that they can support the kids themselves. So let's say Ben's having trouble with something, another child might help him as opposed to running just to get a staff member. So if it's a craft or a social situation, I know that one of the emphasis is having the kids be a community and everybody helps everybody.
Really, this is their first day of camp, they don't know anyone and they're just kind of sitting off by the side. So as opposed to a counselor or staff going over to that child and saying like, hey, what's your name? Like trying to get to know them and trying to coax them into joining the other children. That staff then approaches a different camper and asks them like, hey, can you go over and talk to that child? Like get to know them, maybe like bring them into the circle, and like it's worked that way. So it's more of a kid-to-kid interaction as opposed to a kid and adult interaction.